And oop. All right.
It's fine.
Yeah, Adam, you're on camera.
I'm used to it.
Your backpack's in the shot.
Oh yeah, good call. Throw that off the thing. I got it.
Working it.
He's working it. He's working it. Oh my, fucking my balls.
Is balls a swear word? You can't do that in the first 30 seconds.
Balls isn't a swear word.
Okay.
It's fine. Did we really get dinged the last time when I
It felt like it.
did? Well, what do you mean it felt like it?
Because we didn't get as many views as we usually do. The tens of thousands we usually do.
right, right, and that was my fault. Because I said, which I will bleep.
Thank you. No, you won't. You're going to forget.
Oh no, not if I write a note. Which is what I need to do.
Oh, I shouldn't have smelled it.
Yeah, who does that?
I don't know.
Who smells vodka? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I don't know what else
This
to do.
guy.
I don't know what I'm doing.
This guy has no idea.
I don't know what I'm
he
doing.
No idea what he's doing. I'll tell you what you're doing. You ready for this? I'll tell you
I'm
exactly
ready.
what you're doing. We're taking this shot,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Because this is a evergreen episode of the podcast.
A freewheeling evergreen bad boy.
So let's start it off with this.
Cheers to the show and all of y'all.
Why? There's no way you used a shot glass for that.
No, I didn't.
Oh my god.
Oh. I'm used to pouring whiskey to sip,
Yeah.
and that was more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Let's be adults about this.
Okay. Ah.
It's just vodka.
No.
You know, we've done it before. We've been here before.
American vodka. Not that commie stuff.
Well, all right. My name is Marco Dupa, and that guy who poured that terrible shot. But he's still great. And he's still powerful.
Are you doing your Trump thing?
He's still great.
Where you say something really mean and then go, but I love him.
But I love him. He's a terrible person, but he was in my cabinet. And that's all that matters.
We all make mistakes.
We make mistakes. His was being born. I kid. It's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, everybody?
Give it up for him, folks. He's going to be in my cabinet. Maybe. As long as he doesn't keep making mistakes.
He's very clearly often in the kitchen cabinet. I love him.
He said it. I didn't. He said it. Not me.
Did you see his entire spiel on the two N-words?
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
So stupid.
You're not supposed to say
There's
either.
two words you're not supposed to say either. It's bad to say either one.
There's the two N-words. You know one of them.
We all know and love one of them. And then there's the other one.
The other one. Nuclear.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Tonight's brew is from the Sideward Brewing.
And also, Unseen Creatures.
It is the Fire in the Sky, a West Coast Pilsner, and Obi's going to have more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? As we said, we're just going to fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
Stick with us, folks.
Yeah. We should do The Last of Us, though.
We're definitely going to do The Last of Us. Good call.
Yeah. But beyond that, who knows?
All right, so let's just get rocking and rolling. This is 383
That's right.
of the One Beer In podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to taste it first.
Yeah.
You know, someone was listening to the podcast.
Wow, were they?
Finally. Finally.
Someone. Yes.
And she was like, you clear your throat a lot. And I was like,
Thanks.
that's not an observation I want to hear.
Okay.
Is the show funny? Are you entertained? You know.
What do you think of the topics?
Yeah. Are we doing a good job? No. You clear your throat a lot. It's like sick.
Cool.
Glad that's something that somebody would immediately notice upon listening to the show. I can't help it. Okay. Phlegmy boy.
You are a phlegmy boy.
I try. You have no idea. I take an allergy pill, Allegra, which is the only one that seems to work for me. I've tried Zyrtec and I've tried Claritin and I've tried Claritin. I've tried Zyrtec. I've tried them all, and the only one that works is Allegra. It's the best one. Maybe I'll invest. You get some Donald J. Trump money in there. There's no telling what it could do, where it could go. I feel like I'm getting better. I don't know. I feel like it's getting there. And then, like, the longer I do it, the more I like it teeter-totters.
Yeah.
It's like when I try to do an accent for too long.
That's literally what you're...
Well, that's not really an accent, though, right? I mean, it's a full-on impression. You got to embody
okay,
the
fair
person.
enough, yes.
Right?
More specific than an accent.
Yeah. Because it's not just like...
He has an accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all his own.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that he talks like that.
Yeah.
If you see him lately, it's like he's doing an impression of himself.
Yeah, no, it really is.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like he used to, if you look at old shit, because I remember there was an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that he was on.
Yeah.
And,
isn't that weird?
So weird. So
to
strange
look back
to think
at
about.
all his pop culture appearances.
Donald Trump used to just be a cool guy.
Yeah.
Like he was the epitome of wealth.
Yeah.
And what it meant to be an elitist.
Of new money.
Or not an elitist, but the elite.
Yeah.
Rather.
Yeah. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah.
Who do you think of first? Trump.
And he was a New York guy.
Yeah.
So that a lot of people knew him because he was all over New York media.
Sure.
East Coast guy.
Right.
His hotels are everywhere.
Which
So, of
made
course-
people hate him in New York,
Yeah.
along with other things. But
Yeah. I mean, what don't they hate in New York?
Pizza.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. True that.
Slurs.
Yeah, that's another one. That's good. So I remember seeing him on there, and well, not remember. I obviously remembered, but I was watching an old episode and saw him on there, and I was like, it's crazy to think, like he was just, dare I say, normal. I mean, he was always weird.
Yeah, more normal than he is now. Now he's like a poorly drawn caricature of who we used to think of as Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And you know what I think it is? I think it's just that he's getting slower.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just getting more and more pronounced how insane he is.
Yeah.
The accent's getting
Well, because more
more drawn out.
He was younger and he was quicker on his feet. But now that he's older, it's...
Well, because part of the impression is the
and then whenever he's, because the coke that he's on,
allegedly.
it's a rhythm. There's a...
It is, yeah. There's music in it, you know?
I don't want to talk about Phlegmy Boy.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a Death Grips beat.
Maybe I'll get on SNL with my Trump impression.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your reel right now?
I don't think I really look like him. Hey, I'm trying to remember the. And I want to be the new SNL cast member.
Oh no!
They bullied that kid off the internet. Like, literally off the internet.
I'm surprised I hadn't heard about this until like 2 months ago.
No, dude, they ruined his life, I think.
Yeah. Well, no, he's still doing it. He's still.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He hasn't posted a TikTok in like 8 months.
He's on YouTube now.
Oh.
They bullied him off the platform.
Oh.
He's now on YouTube.
I didn't know
if
that.
If you don't understand from getting these bits and pieces, there was a guy who had I guess it was a reel that he was putting together to try to get on SNL.
It was a TikTok.
Okay.
That was meant to. He wanted to be like the new Andy Samberg. He wanted to do the digital shorts and stuff.
Yeah. So he put together, I guess his entire shtick is that he does raps.
Yeah, he's a rapidy old boy.
He's a comedic rapper, but he's also very milquetoast.
Dude, that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. Very basic guy, and
I mean, he's like Andy Samberg had a baby with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, because there's that cringe factor. But I think even more like stereotypical, like rod up the ass white guy
Yeah.
added into that too, though.
But also he can rap, apparently.
Yeah, but he can't. He can't. Because
can't.
like Andy Samberg, as much of like a dork as he comes off in general, he's also still kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And the music that he did, that
Was
Lonely Island did, was good.
Legitimately good.
Yeah, just
and
on
that's
its surface,
that's
good.
what made it funny, and that's what made it work, is because it was good at the core of it. Because you're like,
Phlegm.
this is Phlegmy boy. This shouldn't work, but it does because it sounds. They're taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the thing that a lot of these like parody accounts don't really understand. Is like the music has to just stand on its own. It has to be good.
Right.
You can't just go out there and try to do something funny or ironic, but the music sucks.
Right. Or try to be like overly clever about it.
Yeah.
Which I think was his kind of downfall. I'm forgetting his name. I think we need to find his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, you gotta find him. Because people, yeah. I remember discovering this kid, like somebody had stitched it on TikTok, and I was like, this can't be real. And so I go and watch it, and then I watched his entire library of TikToks. I watched all of them. I went all the way back to the beginning, and it didn't. Let me tell you something. From the start, it was terrible.
Yeah.
From the start, it was cringe. There was no moment in this guy's short career where he was doing something legitimate or funny or clever, and then the SNL thing happened, and then like there was some kind of change. Like this is what it was always going to be.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying or hoping rather that he like pops up on the series finale, season finale rather of SNL this season. I was hoping that he would be part of the season. You have not found him yet?
Look, I'm going through this Reddit thread that's getting me nowhere.
Hold on. If I can find it faster than you, I gotta take over research duties.
No, I'm gonna find it.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
I found it. Found it.
Shit. Yep, that's him. That's him. Damn it.
His name is Jake Novak.
Jake Novak.
Yes,
Yeah.
he still has an active YouTube.
So when was the last thing he posted on?
The last thing he posted is... Okay, that's all 8 months ago.
I told you, man. They bullied him off the internet, bro.
I could have sworn he had something new, or maybe he got so bullied after that he took it down.
The SNL thing is the last thing he posted. Literally, what did I say? 8-9 months ago? That was the last
Oh my
thing that he
god, you may be
posted.
right.
Dude.
Oh, no. But he's posting shorts. He's posting shorts still. I think. It's harder to tell when these came out.
No, because that's on his TikTok. He's just either he's reposting from his TikTok or that's been there for a minute.
Okay,
but I remember
gotcha.
because he does this like the problem with guys like him. One of the problems with guys like him is they do this like nice guy rap thing where I don't know why there is this small like corner of pop culture that thinks that the thing that hip hop is missing is a cornball white dude that you can introduce to your mother. I don't understand why people think that that's appealing to anyone.
Who inevitably always raps like this. Hey guys, why don't you think about this?
Yeah.
My name is... It's Chris.
Right.
Like...
And then, 6 months after they become famous, you find out that they sexually assaulted somebody.
Sure.
That's usually how that goes.
Yeah, that's the trajectory of most clean hip-hop acts.
Yeah. So I
They're also trying to do SNL impressions
Yeah.
and stuff. Not to say that Jake Novak did that.
No,
but,
not accusing him of anything. I don't
no.
know his history.
Just-
I do know
just-
that he's a weirdo, and I think that like I wouldn't be surprised if that was revealed at some point.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna go down that roll.
I will. Fuck him. Fuck him.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Let me stop.
Yeah.
I'm being a little aggressive for no reason.
Yeah,
this
that's
guy
true.
doesn't deserve more hate than he's already gotten. I don't think he deserved to get bullied off the internet. But the other thing is, I don't think he got bullied so much as people were pointing out how bad and cringy what he was doing was. There was people We're talking about something that is so completely irrelevant right now. He's been gone for almost a full year.
Well, no, it's been okay. So
Yeah,
it's been CNN reported on him 6 months ago.
Oh, CNN reported on what? How he got bullied off the internet?
Yeah, apparently they had an interview with him. So
Wow,
that's out there. Yeah.
okay.
So
Maybe I'll watch that later. Kind of
Yeah.
see what old Jakey boy's doing.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy. We didn't introduce the beer.
Yes, please. Obi, can you tell the people what we're drinking
I would
tonight?
love to. This is the Fire in the Sky. It is a West Coast Pilsner, and according to Sideward Brewing's official Instagram, it's a collab with Unseen Creatures Brewing. Our dude Lester came up and partied with us. We ate some po' boys, then whipped up this West Coast Pils. A new American-style Pils with all-American hops. Clean, crisp, refreshing, but with citrusy and floral hop notes. 5.2% ABV. If you live in Miami, Unseen will be receiving a couple of kegs and cases.
Sick.
Yeah.
Still don't really know what a West Coast Pilsner is. Excuse my ignorance. We've been doing this podcast for years, and, like, I don't know. That might be the first time I've ever seen a West Coast Pilsner.
So it looks a little hazy. That
Yeah.
makes me think that's a part of a West Coast styling, right?
Yeah.
It has those citrusy, like, extra hoppy notes that a Pilsner usually doesn't have.
Right.
So I'm thinking that extra bit of hoppiness has to do with it being a West Coast Pilsner.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's also clean, crisp, and pretty light, which I think is the Pilsner part of this equation.
Okay. I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with everything you just said.
Thank you.
Kind of feel like you said a lot that we're gonna say at the end, because
Yeah, well.
a lot of tasting notes, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You asked.
I did ask. I'm glad you said it because it helps. It helps. Because I don't know. I've been debating on going for the full Cicerone thing.
Ooh.
So
What's the process of that? Is it just like being a sommelier? Like you have to go to a test and
So from my understanding, and I'm sure whoever's listening will correct me if I'm wrong, the first level is like a server's level of beer knowledge.
Okay.
Which is, as long as you've worked around beer for a couple of years, is pretty easy to obtain.
Right.
It's not level 1. It's like, I think it's, we could just look up, but I think it's
Levels
like
of
server level.
Okay.
Which is one level below level 1. Or level 1 is equivalent to a server. Just like somebody who's been around beer enough to be able to
you can identify
give you the base
different types of
knowledge.
beers. Yeah.
And then it goes all the way to level 4.
Oh, there's a syllabus online.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a whole thing.
Yeah, there's level 1, which is certified beer server.
Okay, so that's
Level 2 is certified Cicerone, which means certification for professionals dedicated to beer. Level 3 is advanced Cicerone, which is a designation of distinctive expertise and tasting skill. And level 4 is a master Cicerone, which is the ultimate test of beer expertise.
Getting the master Cicerone is, as far as I understand it, just as hard as getting a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredibly hard. Takes
sure.
years and years. And some people who you would think know everything that there is to know about beer are not master Cicerones.
Sure.
So,
Which is different than being a brewer, though.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
about
yeah,
tasting.
different.
It's about identifying. It's about getting notes and flavors and pairings and all these other things that a lot of people don't even think about.
Yeah. Which is why there's like this weird disparity to me between those two things, because the people that I now work around, I would trust their opinion over somebody who walked in with a Master Cicerone badge
You mean
any day.
people who like brew beer?
Yeah. Sorry, actually, people don't know me in real life. I should be more specific. But yeah. Brewers, the people who actually make the beer and not the people who study it for a living.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as like if somebody were to like two people trying to teach you guitar. Somebody is a master in music theory, and then there's this other guy who can actually play the guitar. And like, you know, you're just like, I like the way that person plays the guitar. I'd rather just learn from that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously merit in that knowledge.
I was going to say,
there's taking anything away from that.
There's unique skills in each of those.
For sure.
It's like, you know, a professional movie critic versus a director, you know?
But see, yes, but that's the thing, exactly. Am I going to listen to the critic, or am I going to listen to the guy who actually makes movies?
It depends. It depends, because the critic may have a wider breadth of knowledge of film itself.
But see, I'm one of these guys that's like, you got to do it first. Listen, I am a person who I've written reviews.
You can't
before.
talk about MMA unless you've been in the ring.
I'm not like, I don't go that far.
Okay.
I've written reviews about stuff that I've never done before. You know, I obviously there is merit in just learning about the thing and understanding what it takes to make a thing that good without having actually done it.
Sure.
But at the same time, if you're talking to two different people and this guy's done it and this guy hasn't done it, and this guy's just learned about it, but this guy's actually lived it, I just weigh that guy's opinion heavier. That's all. I'm not discounting this guy's opinion, but that guy, I'm going to like, all right, well, he was there.
You've been there. You've been there. Yeah. That's fair.
I was there.
Yeah, that's interesting though. So do you have to do these successively? Like you have to do one, then two, or can you just jump into two if you feel like you have the knowledge of certified beer?
That is an excellent question,
okay,
Mr. Obesius. I don't know for sure.
Okay,
I know that the beer server level, everyone has told me that I could pass.
I would assume
right
you
now.
could. I would assume you could because you literally serve beer.
Yeah. I don't know.
Has this show taught you nothing?
I think that I could pass it, but that's just, I wouldn't go into it blind with just going like, yeah, I do a podcast and I work at a bar.
Yeah,
I'm going to study.
Yeah.
But the beer server level is like the one where you like get past. I want to get to that level 1. I want to, or I'm sorry, level 2, like actual Cicerone level. I want to get to that fucking,
yeah.
I want that. Excuse me. So I've been reading up on different, you know, beer styles and stuff like that, and just, you know, just brushing up on my.
I can tell you the answer to my question.
Please.
A prerequisite is you must have passed for level 2, is you must have passed a certified beer server exam. Candidates for this level of certification, must be of legal drinking age.
See, that's bullshit.
Well, they're clearly trying to get you to pay more to do the first one. Because the exam cost itself is $225.
Yeah.
USD.
Yeah, they want you to, you know.
Yeah.
See, you know what I'd rather do? I would rather take the test on my own and then pass it and be like, listen, I'm not going to pay you money to do this. Maybe I'm not recognized as a Cicerone, but I have the knowledge of a Cicerone.
Right. You know for yourself.
I think I might actually do that instead of paying money.
I think it would behoove you to just do the tests because then you could put that on your resume and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
Because I understand. Look, there's fees to go around. There's the actual costs of the beer that you're tasting. Because this is the thing: the exam cost for part 2 is $225 for the written portion of the exam, $175 for tasting and demonstration portion. Yeah. $175 to retake the written exam if you need to, and $125 to retake the tasting exam. So
damn, so they charge you even more if you have to retake it, right? Wait, how much was the test in total?
No. $225 for the written, $175 for the tasting, and if you mess it up and you want to redo it, it's $175.
Wait.
To retake the written.
Hold on. It's $220, like just off rip. $225 on the written.
$175 for tasting.
And also $175 for, and you need to pass both of those to be. See, that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
It is
for these people to just dole out the fact that like you know what you know.
That's the cost to be the boss.
All right, maybe I overstepped on this one because that's a lot of money.
Well, let's take a step back because now we know that you have to do level 1 first.
Okay.
Okay. $69.
See, that's
nice.
way more doable.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I can afford that, and I also probably feel like I can pass that probably. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm like 40% sure.
We've been doing this show long enough. You've tasted a lot of beer.
I just feel like I freestyle a lot.
It's fun. I think that's half of it, though, right? It's like knowing what you like, knowing what something tastes like, I think is probably the biggest thing, right? Mm-hmm. Having the palate to be like, this is hoppy, or, this is really sweet or fruity, or this is sour, or this tastes, like it's a wild beer or something. Being able to identify, like, this is probably this, I think is the first step.
Yeah.
As a Cicerone myself.
Yeah. Yeah, how'd the test go, by the way, when you took it?
I mean, pretty easy.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Well, for someone such as yourself, obviously.
I can't talk about it anymore because...
No, yeah, I get that.
It's part of the whole secret society thing.
Yeah. Like Cicerone is also like an Illuminati thing.
Yeah.
No, I get
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Okay.
So I'm not.
I hope you respect that. I never bring it up again
immensely.
on this show.
I respect it immensely, and I'll never even address it ever again.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll see you in the club.
You're just gonna say I'll see you in court.
Well, if you talk about it again.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be. I think it would maybe add a little bit of legitimacy to this podcast.
Sure. You only need to get a 75%.
Oh, I can, dude. I
was that not all of high school?
I was just about to say, like, that's how I got through high school, baby.
Yeah.
All C's, C's and B's, baby.
You need at least 45 questions correct.
Oh, I can do that. Oh, easily.
The test is a 30-minute time limit.
I could do that fucking blindfolded.
Genuinely, I kind of want to pay that money just to try.
Yeah, it's not that much money just to
Why
see
not?
how, dude. If we both could do it, if we both did it,
that'd be pretty cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
we might want to talk a little bit more about this.
Okay.
Off mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, then we can go immediately into our concealed carry, right?
Yeah. Well, we might not have to, considering the laws might change around
It's
here.
true.
We might not.
It's very
we
true.
might just be able to go and get guns.
Oh,
you know?
thanks, DeSantis.
Thanks, Mr. DeSantis.
We all have guns.
Hey, listen. I'm all about gun safety. I'm all about, put as many laws as you feel like
doing the Trump voice.
I'm all about gun laws. I'm all about gun safety. I think people need to stop shooting guns. It's a lot of guns. There's way too many guns.
Very loud.
But if I'm being honest, I would have a gun. I would have a gun right now. I'd shoot into the crowd. It would be good. It'd be... They would be Donald J. Trump bullets in the gun.
I'd be surprised if there aren't.
For sure.
Engraved.
He's got bullets engraved.
Yeah. Engraved on the slug.
Gold bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to pay the money for the concealed weapons license. Like, it's a lot of money, dude. I know that, like, I should. And I know that morally I will if I have to. But I don't want to.
You're not gonna break the law.
It's just like
okay.
It's like a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Shit is not cheap.
I mean, okay. So as two guys who want to be able to own guns, right?
Yeah.
In this glorious state in which we can very easily.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? I know you just said you don't want to pay for it, but realistically and legitimately, how do you feel about not having that step in the process of somebody being able just to concealed carry?
I think it's insane. I think it's actually insane to if that law passes. I think that's crazy. I think excuse me. I think that it's a common sense law or a common sense thought that people have already had 1,000 times over, which is that if you feel like people need to have a driver's license to drive a car, you should have a license to own a weapon.
Yeah.
Right? You should. I think that there should be immense hoops to jump through. You should have to prove your mental stability, and
is that what our founding fathers would have wanted, though?
Like I've heard this from people who I know personally, that when people are like, "Hey, listen, don't give guns to crazy people," quote unquote,
Okay.
That they feel like that's discriminatory to people who have like mental illnesses
Sure.
and things like that.
Yeah.
And it is.
Well, if somebody who sees a psychiatrist or psychologist couldn't get a gun, I'm out.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So if that's a slippery slope, then
as long
get
as
it,
you
but-
as long as you prove that you have the mental acuity to understand the immense responsibility that it is to be a gun owner,
Yeah.
I think you should be able to be a gun owner.
Sure.
That's so. Yeah, I mean, the idea that like DeSantis and Florida lawmakers are just like, let's just throw that shit out the window, because like, who? To me, it feels like, what are you saying to the community? What message are you trying to get out there other than trying to poll better with,
Yeah.
deep red areas in the community?
Sure,
like
sure.
that, and like, put my political affiliations aside.
Yeah.
What is the message that you are trying to put out there? You know what I mean?
Their argument, and I only know this because I've seen the news.
One of us has to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
I honest to God, only watch the news when I come over here.
Yeah.
That's the only time I see the news.
Yeah. It's rough without cable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, apparently the point behind this stripping back of concealed carry licenses is, the thought is that people will be more armed, obviously.
Yeah.
More easily.
Yeah.
Which in some lawmakers' eyes makes for a more secure society. Their opinion is that more good guys with guns means bad guys with guns will think before they act, or be shot down before they're able to take out a bunch of people.
Yeah, and see I hate
That
that.
historically doesn't work, right?
Yeah, I hate
like,
that.
I'm not
That's-
crazy to think that
That's
just
insane.
doesn't work out.
That's an insane
generally
way to look at things.
I mean, obviously
more
there
good guys with guns. Like,
Yeah.
What do we? What? Dog. It's not the 40s. It's not cowboys and Indians.
that was before the
It was not the 20s. It's not
The
18. It's not the 1980s. Okay. It's
Yeah.
not cowboys and Indians.
right. It's not the cocaine cowboys.
It's not the cocaine cowboys.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
I get it. I get that. I don't like. I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I know there are a lot
I
of.
want to be clear.
There are stories, obviously, of good guys with guns shooting down like home invaders and stuff.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah,
and that
definitely.
whatever. But that's not the usual.
No.
And I think generally, we'll have to look this up, obviously. We don't have the data in front of us, but I've heard that places with more guns does not mean more safe.
Right.
Like,
Right. Well, it doesn't really correlate.
yeah.
I mean, it correlates to like more danger.
Right. And that's not to even take into consideration people who will use those guns irresponsibly because they're more available. People who will not store them properly and either get them stolen by criminals or
You're the criminals from the statistics.
taken by kids,
Yeah.
And on top of that, accidental discharges. People who aren't well versed on their firearm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, firearm safety should be like, you should at least have to pass the firearm safety test.
Please, I don't understand why that's such a controversial thing for Second Amendment people.
It's insane that it's not like, you as a person who is an advocate for the Second Amendment should be on the front lines of getting people taking these tests. You
Right.
should want every citizen in America to take this test. It should be a test that is according to your own arguments, should be something that you have to pass in fucking high school to understand how to control a firearm.
Right, and the main rules of having a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
it's insane to me that it's something where they're like, why do you want to do that? Like, why don't you want to do it?
Sure. It makes everyone safer.
Yeah.
And if your whole thing is like more people should own guns, safety and a mandatory test and review will only make people more interested in owning a firearm.
Right. Well, I think if you talk to any sensible gun owner, they will tell you that you should understand gun safety and you should have to probably. I think the problem is when it becomes a government regulated thing where they go, okay, the government is forcing me to do this before I, as an American citizen, can do whatever the hell I want.
But who's going to then?
Right.
You're just going to leave it to states' laws, I guess, maybe. But then you see that eroding away in Florida right now.
Right.
I don't know. I get the fear of like, oh, they're going to take our guns. You know, like that's been the main argument forever and ever.
Yeah.
There still needs to be regulation.
Yeah.
For something that can kill someone so easily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Is that not common sense?
I don't think that's a
not-
crazy thing to say.
Is that a hot take? I'm sorry.
That's controversial.
Is that the Tito's talking?
It might be. We're talking about gun safety in an episode where it was we're supposed to be free willing talking about anything. Somehow
sorry.
it got to gun safety.
It's just, yeah. It's on our heads a lot.
yeah.
What
We're
gun?
living in this state.
If you could have any gun, what would be the gun that you choose?
Shotgun.
What kind of shotgun?
A big one.
Okay. The Doom shotgun.
I would buy one and then I would saw it off. That's
That's
I would
illegal.
do. Don't tell me that. Maybe I would learn that if I took the test.
It's true.
No, I honestly, man, I'm not like a gun enthusiast.
You just hate old machines, don't you?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. I don't
Yeah.
want, it's too much.
Yeah.
We're going too far
Okay.
with most things.
Yeah.
You
hate cars? You hate guns?
I don't hate cars.
You do hate cars.
I don't hate cars.
You don't have to lie for the people
I
here.
don't hate cars. I wish I understood cars more. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the space in my mental library to move books out of the way. Random Oscar knowledge.
Sure.
Hip hop history.
Teenage Mutant
music.
Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles takes up a big portion of the library.
And now the Cicerone stuff. It's like,
Right. I mean, come on.
Forget
like
it,
how
yeah.
much room do you think I got left in my mental library for car knowledge? That's a whole other that's a whole thing. You become a car guy. You're a fucking car guy.
Yeah, you got to defrag.
And I honestly do wish that there was more things like cars that I understood better, right?
Yeah.
I understand what it takes to rip up this floor and redo this entire floor.
Sure.
I could do that in a week by myself, probably. That's a whole other vastness of knowledge that I have now.
Okay.
And I probably would, if I could, like in the Matrix, just delete that knowledge and then upload car knowledge if I could.
Sure.
But at this point, I'm 32. It ain't happening.
Okay. It's basically dead.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, I get a little aggro about not knowing it because I wish so badly that I did that I'm just like, fuck that.
That's fine.
I don't know anything about it.
It's okay.
So, how do we get to the cars?
Because I said you don't like
Machines.
Yeah. Machines.
Yeah, machines. If they get too complex, don't do it. I don't want them. That's what I'm gonna do this whole episode is just like run through my Rolodex of
Impressions. Yeah, that's good.
I've got Trump. I've got Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody has a Christopher Walken.
Sure, of course.
I have a Denzel Washington that I'm working on. I'm not gonna bust it out yet.
Okay.
I'm
It's not
working
ready.
on it.
It's not ready.
I just have the lip quiver. That's all I got so far. And I got, you got to get the lines down.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I if I had to pick a gun, it would just be like a big fucking self-defense weapon. You know what I'm saying?
What does that
like
even
Glock,
mean?
Like a Glock. Something like...
That's not a big gun.
I mean, I don't... Well, obviously, I'm showing how much I don't know anything about. Give me a Desert Eagle.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's...
Now we're talking.
I want something that's going to fly out of my hands if I
Yeah.
don't, control it.
Brace it.
Yeah. 357 Magnum, just like a fucking, just pull it out my pants, like fucking, like Jack Nicholson, dude, just like the fucking, I want the long, taking out my shorts, and
it's somehow a sniper rifle, even though it's a revolver.
Yeah, exactly, shooting shit out the sky. No, I mean, I honestly, I don't want something like that. I just want something that is like, get out of here, bad guys. I'm a good guy with a gun. That's all I want to be. Is a good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Never had any interest in. Well, I've always wanted to fire a bolt action rifle, but I've never wanted to go hunting.
Okay.
So like
you don't have to. You can just go to gun range.
Yeah. I like that. I like the manualness of the fucking the discharge of the round.
Yeah, they're always cool looking.
Yeah, I always like that.
Yeah.
What about you? I know you have like something in mind.
I mean, not even necessarily, because my answer is kind of boring. I would just want like I always jump between these two. I always jump between like a modern AK-47, like a really nice, like, not even with like the wood and stuff, but like, like a polymer, nice, like black,
one of those beautiful
AK-47s,
man destroyers.
Yeah. Or like a like a really like hyper souped up like Modern Warfare 2 style AR-15, like with all the scopes and stuff, and the laser and all that.
A friend of mine, he has something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name on the podcast because but one day he comes, I see him and he's like, "You want to see this new gun I got?" And I'm like, "Sick, yeah."
Unzips his pants.
Nice.
Gotcha again.
We go to his car. It's in his trunk, and it's just like, I mean, it literally is like, it's like if you had like the exploded view of the gun, like all the attachments.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
You had like a scope. You had like a fucking underbarrel on it and all kinds of shit. And I was just like, this is crazy. And I was with somebody else, and they were like, I'm not touching that. I don't want my prints on whatever this is.
Whatever you're gonna do with this,
I'm just gonna admire it from afar. And then I picked it up and I looked at it and I was like holding it and stuff, and he got me all paranoid, so I like wiped my fingerprints off. And like
you clearly didn't trust this person.
I mean, this guy, not the most trustworthy.
Okay,
dude.
that's fair.
I don't know. I don't know him well enough to trust him with.
Who maybe shouldn't have that gun.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know what this guy's getting into.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
I don't know.
He's
doing things.
Good guy.
He's a good guy with a gun, or maybe not.
No. Actually, I rescind my idea. My pick for gun. I want the Benelli shotgun.
Okay.
From Terran Tactical, that was in John Wick 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I want that in particular.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That and all of like the Glocks that he has from Terran Tactical. I want all the Terran Tactical kitted out stuff.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
AR-15s.
Yeah. One day we'll get famous enough to go to Terran Tactical.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And
you don't understand how much I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I'd be so juiced up to go to Terran Tactical and just run the drills.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day.
Okay.
One day.
All right.
All right. Let's speaking of all this like gun safety and what to do with guns, if we ever had our hands on some of these guns, I think it's probably best to do our The Last of Us recap.
We might as well.
We're
here
as well.
Yeah.
So let's fucking...
Speaking of contract work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Obi, you want to take it away? Give us a synopsis.
Okay, so this is episode 6. It's called Kin. And that's because this is the one where Joel finally runs into Tommy. Yes, he's living in Jackson, Wyoming. Which, you know what? Actually, I never put together that in Last of Us 2, that's their settlement that we were prepping with the dam mission.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. For some reason, I just didn't put those pieces together.
Yeah. It was only after watching the episode that I was that I kind of put that
Yeah,
together.
yeah. I don't know why I did. It had been a while since
Been a while
since I'd played part 1 to part 2. Anyway, Ellie and Joel end up in Jackson.
Do what you need to do. It's your home.
Oh wow, that's interesting. It's an interesting pick.
I just really want an English muffin.
They might have English muffins in Jackson, Wyoming, because it seems like that town is pretty well set up.
Yeah.
They have lights. They have camera in action.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
I'm good.
Maybe later. Maybe later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the town seems really well set up. Joel and Tommy have this loving brotherly embrace. They catch up with each other. We find out that Tommy has settled down with what's her name, Maria?
Maria, yeah.
Maria, his new boo.
Another race swapped character.
She could be Hispanic. Who knows?
Maria, yeah,
Sure.
Well, she was white in the show or in the game.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I know.
Anyway,
I know.
so we find out. Well, Joel finds out that Maria and Tommy are married now, and also finds out that. Well, actually, doesn't find out, but starts to question, like, "Hey, I came here to save you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you let me know about this place?"
Right.
And it turns out that the entire town is under lock and key, essentially. Nobody is really... They stay off the radios. They leave the dead bodies of people who try them outside of their perimeter, keep people away, scare them off. And it's a hush-hush thing, which obviously makes Joel feel like crap. Because he's like, we're kin.
Yeah.
I can't.
And,
How could you do this to me?
Yeah, so it's upsetting to him.
Who is that?
Ellie's having trouble kind of seeing actual children that
Yeah.
aren't post-apocalyptic monsters.
Yeah.
And, so at this point, we start to see that Joel is having panic attacks. And it's because, he's had so much loss in his life. And I think Ellie is starting to, trigger him.
Yeah.
Reminding him of his daughter.
Well, it's something that we also don't really that doesn't happen in the game. You don't
No,
have to
no.
worry about Joel having panic attacks in the middle of the game.
Right. So, because of that, he realizes he's getting old. He may not be up to snuff to take Ellie the rest of the way.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Who is that?
Oh, it's peanut butter.
Oh, you don't like peanut butter?
Oh, it's going to be hard for me to talk now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You're like Ed the horse.
excuse me. It's Mr. Ed.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Didn't realize he earned the title of Mister.
How dare you?
Excuse me. That's Dr. Ed to you. I didn't spend 6 years in equestrian medical school to be
As a
called
Cicerone.
Mr. Ed. It's Dr. Ed.
Okay.
6 years as a Cicerone.
Yeah. So,
Sissy.
as a sissy. A sissy boy.
Sissy-rone. A sissy-rone.
And so at this point, Joel confides to Tommy, says, look, I'm not up to the task of taking Ellie the rest of the way.
Too old. Too fat.
Too old, too fat, too strong.
Too fat. Too strong.
And he asked Tommy to take over for him. But apparently Ellie listens in and hears him kind of push off the burden of her onto Tommy. Gets upset, confronts Joel about it. Pivotal part in the game as well. And they have this moment where they get into a conflict. He essentially says, "Yeah, you ain't my daughter.
You ain't my daughter.
You're on mighty thin ice."
You ain't my daughter.
And Ellie
Never
finally
be my daughter.
Ellie finally confides in him and saying, like, everyone I know is either dead or left me. And they kind of connect in that moment, but it's not ready yet. The relationship still needs to to permeate. And he still says, in the morning, Tommy will take you the rest of the way. But lo and behold, Joel steps up. He ends up there in the morning waiting with the... That's nice. Wow, you got the... this man got the dropsies. And so Joel ends up giving Ellie an option and says, you can either go with me or you can go with Tommy. Either way is fine. I want to give you the choice. And she immediately says, I'm going with Joel. And so they go off to continue their journey across America.
Last of Us.
To the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the episode ends with him being stabbed. Do you remember that part?
Oh, right. That's right.
There's
It's funny
that cute little detail.
It's funny you say that because it feels like the start of the next episode.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's kind of a beat on its own.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it just keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, 1,000,000% they rushed that ending.
Yeah.
It should not have been part of that episode.
It shouldn't have been.
No. Or at least get through the Joel Tommy stuff a little bit quicker so that you can get to that part.
Yeah, because this was the entire scene of them going to the college.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, if you played the game, another big moment in the game.
It's a huge moment in the game that they just kind of rush through.
Yeah. So this is like a major stop within the game where Joel gets stabbed. In the game, he falls on rebar.
Yeah.
In this, he gets stabbed with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And so they're able to ride off after that, and Joel doesn't feel so good.
No.
Falls down.
So good.
And we're left with Ellie in despair, not knowing what she's going to do next because Joel is out for the count.
This is the first episode that I watched and thought that the departure from the games was a little too much. And I was like, I've been trying to watch it with a fresh eye.
Sure.
And not compare it to the games. But the way that they got through the college, the way that they rushed through it, rather, didn't sit right with me. Because it was such a beautiful, pivotal moment in the game that I thought it could have been a whole episode in and of itself.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I think, honestly, they should just cut the college scene out completely. And just
cut it out.
Have Joel get stabbed a different way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because
if that's how you're going to treat it, then don't even
try. Don't even try. Yeah, I think we needed at least double the time in the college scene. Because it is such an important part.
Yeah.
And it felt very like, all right, I guess we got there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that they try to do it with like this whole montage thing with them getting to the stronghold and then getting to the college. This montage of them like interacting and stuff, and like you understand that they're getting closer and Ellie trusts him the most and all this stuff. But the college, going through the college it's such a moment of like real like father-daughter kind of relationship,
daddy-daughter time.
That it feels like, to just kind of gloss over it, really, it doesn't take anything away from the on-screen chemistry, because they have such immense chemistry that, you know, it doesn't, in the long run, it doesn't really matter.
It still works. Yeah.
But definitely it's just like a tough thing to watch them gloss over.
A little bit of a disservice if you know what it could have been.
Yeah.
I think if you maybe hadn't played the games, not as big of a deal.
And that's what I'm trying to like get that out of my head. You know, I hate comparing the show to the game, because the show's been doing so well so far that I don't want to compare it to that. But at the same time, when you know that there's a source material that they're using, and then there's some stuff that they're leaving out,
it's hard
like,
not to compare.
It's
hard not to compare.
It's like watching a movie. It's like watching it's like watching a movie and knowing that there's a good book.
Sure.
Reading the book and going, they cut this whole scene out. Why? This was so pivotal to the story.
Yeah. Which is bound to happen. Even in like Dune, which I think is incredible of a movie.
Yeah.
Having read the book just before watching it, I was still like, I kind of wish we had a bit more of this. Sorry. I'm so sorry. But no, I want to, now that we've gone through the synopsis, which I tried to rush through as quickly as possible.
I think you did well.
Thank you. I want to say something I glossed over a little bit too finely is that Maria is having a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Which is new for the show.
Right.
Which adds more conflict to the Tommy Joel thing.
I'm gonna be a daddy.
I'm going to be daddy.
I want to be a daddy. Hey, just because your life stopped doesn't mean that my life has got to stop. I'm having a baby.
I wish so bad we could see Joel replaced like with AI to Lucas Black. What's DK?
I'm having a baby. Oh yeah, you're young and I'm old and I can't do it anymore. Please take this little girl to the college.
I have trauma.
I'm trying my hardest to get over this trauma that I have.
It's going real Forrest Gump. Though.
It is. It's going very Forrest Gump. But yeah, I want to say, I think the addition of Maria having a baby and also her being the catalyst of Ellie finding out that Joel had a daughter, was a good move.
Yeah,
I think that worked well for the show.
That did. Yeah. The way that they did that was really good.
Yeah, and Ellie being so combative with Maria because clearly Joel's her favorite.
Yeah,
and she can tell that Maria's not a fan of Joel after everything that she's been told from her own or from his own brother. Yeah. You know, like I like the conflict there.
Yeah.
They clearly still love each other, but there's also something there.
Yeah.
They've been through too much.
Hey man, just from a realistic standpoint, it's crazy to me to think like in a post-apocalyptic world, you could be half a country away from one of your like immediate family members.
Yeah.
If they were alive, if my brothers were alive, even the relationship that I have with my brothers, if they were alive, there's no way that one of them is going to be in another state.
What if they talked you into murdering a lot of people, though?
Talked you into is a stretch, though, right? Because
yes, and I'm glad you said that because there is so much that Maria puts on Joel. Yeah, when Tommy's a grown-ass man who is in the military, has all these skills, and yet can't say no.
Yeah, what are we talking about here?
He can't put his foot down. I mean, he does eventually and joins the Fireflies and does his own thing and goes off, but all the times that they had where they were killing apparently innocent people, he could have said no.
Always, at any point,
it was an option.
Conscience kicked in
just because Joel's an older brother doesn't mean that he holds domain over Tommy.
Right.
As an adult, it's not like Tommy was 12.
Right. Exactly. Tommy was a grown man before the apocalypse.
Right.
So, to put that on Joel is fucked up.
Which I don't think is a plot hole or an oversight by the writers. I think it's to show that Maria is so like rose-colored glasses on Tommy.
For sure, yeah, it's definitely an emotional thing that you could see somebody reacting that way, going like, "Oh, this is the guy who influenced you to do all of those horrendous things.
He made you do that. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, like you're not that person. He's that person, and he forced you to do those things.
Yeah,
yeah, I could see that. But no, he's a grown-ass man.
Right.
And choose to do that shit.
Sure.
But yeah, there's just no way that I could be in like fucking Boston or wherever.
Yeah.
And like one of my brothers is in
Wyoming.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then again, who knows?
They had a big falling out.
Yeah. But how big of a falling out?
Huge. Apparently.
Enough to be like, listen, like at that point you have to say to yourself, like, I don't care if he lives or dies, really.
Well, Joel continued to check in on him. And the reason why this entire thing kicked off was because he'd stopped hearing from Tommy.
Yeah.
So, he still cared, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But I think there were too much butting heads and, machismo to just deal with it like adults. Yeah,
and I don't know what do you do in a world like that where you have to adapt to. I mean, yeah, it's you can't just go to your room.
No.
Like, what do you do in a world like that?
I'm gonna grind this out on Modern Warfare.
Yeah. and then come back later.
Yeah.
And also you're not killing real people.
Sure.
There's that.
Of course.
There's the part where you're not murdering innocent people.
Yeah. That's the way heavy.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, episode was still, I mean, I still think that they're doing an incredible job, but I think that this was the first time that I felt like could have done something different. I would have done something different if this whole thing was in my hands.
Yeah.
My very capable show running hands.
Sure, of course. I will say that last portion was a bit of a disappointment, but it still can't overcome the fact that, like, I see the vast majority of the changes they made in this episode were worthwhile and powerful, and I think a lot of people have been saying this is like the strongest episode from Pedro and
Pascal. Yes, he was tremendous in this.
I agree.
But he's been tremendous in the whole thing.
It's true. But I think this was like one of his, and there's got to be more, but one of his real times to shine. It was very heavily focused on him, his relationship with Tommy.
Yeah.
That entire thing, that entire dynamic, the entire thing about, his dreams, his nightmares.
Yeah.
Very strong, very strong stuff.
Yeah. That was some good acting, boy. I tell you what.
Yeah.
That was some good ass acting.
I'll say after that, like, and the stuff with Ellie too. I think he acted his ass off.
Yeah.
And
this will be the episode that they submit to the Emmys.
It's got to be at least one of them, right? Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that stuff way overcomes the shortcomings of the very end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still firing on all cylinders for me. I can't wait for next episode. Yeah. We only have 3 more left.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy because we know what's happening in the next one. The next one's going to be Left Behind. Mm-hmm. It's literally called Left Behind.
Yeah.
So that's what we're getting. If you know the games, then you know what we're talking about. So that'll be...
It's a wild part of the game.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
All right. Well... Tune in next week, and we will update you on The Last of Us. One beer in recap.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got it right. I think we're good here.
Yeah.
Well, before we can do anything at the end of this show, first things first, last things last. We got to do the cheers of the week. So, Obi, please start us off. Tell us what your cheers of the week, sir.
My cheers of the week goes to a little-known, underappreciated director named Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, that little guy.
Steven Spielberg. I think in recent years it's been a bit underappreciated because he, things like War Horse didn't go over so well.
Not just underappreciated, but I think people are like taking this opportunity to be like contrarians.
There's
greatness.
There has been a great Spielbergian backlash.
Yeah,
because of how pop culture he is, because of how warm his movies tend to be.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's stupid.
Yeah,
it's dumb. Mm-hmm. I'm a Yankees fan, and a lot of people like hating the Yankees because they're so good.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what's going on with Spielberg. He's just the guy, and he's been the guy since the late 70s. And I think it's just popular to hate the highest in the mountain that we currently have.
Yeah.
The establishment, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's stupid. And even as a film guy, it's popular for like film snobs to be like, Spielberg. Ugh. But come on. Be serious, please.
Some stuff is just good, man.
Yeah.
Some stuff is just good, and you don't have to look at it with this super critical eye.
Well, and crowd pleasing doesn't mean dumb or bad.
Right.
It doesn't. It just doesn't.
Well, we were talking about the Quantumania reviews,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
And the I don't want to say public reviews, but the people reviews, the fan reviews.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call
Yeah,
it.
fan reviews.
They came out, and it's sitting at like a 90-something% with people who've actually seen the movie.
Sure.
And like this obviously is not a good comparison to Spielberg movies because his movies are like critically acclaimed and loved by fans. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is like there's this, it seems to be like this push very recently to go against the grain with some of these movies and some of these directors, some of these auteurs,
Right.
where it's like pretty well established guys that you just go, yeah, I mean, it's a Scorsese movie, it's a Kubrick movie, it's a Spielberg movie. You know it's going to be this, this, and this. And there's like this like niche part of the film community that's like, ugh, a Spielberg. It's very Spielbergian. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
Do you mean a J.J. Abrams movie?
Yeah. And it's just it's one of those things where, like, you know, I mean, there's nothing I hate more than a contrarian, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing I hate more than a guy who wakes up in the morning and is ready to argue just to argue. If you don't like Steven Spielberg, that's fine. You don't have to like him.
Yeah.
But to be out here in public talking about his movies are bad, for what? What are we talking about? What movies are bad? What are we saying here? Fucking Steven Spielberg. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what a man has to do after he makes Jaws to be considered a great director, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But
what?
this was brought upon because I recently saw The Fabelmans. You can now rent it for not $20, which is nice.
That's always nice.
And, you know, I'd watched the Spielberg documentary about his actual life, and then watching The Fabelmans only underlines more, like, you know, who the guy was and is, you know, and how he got to being such a great director. And I just think it's time to continue appreciating the work of Spielberg. He's always been my guy as a director growing up. I think he's gotten multiple generations under his thumb, you know?
Yeah.
So, shout out to Spielberg.
I mean, if we're talking about, like, straight up just like pound for pound, if we're doing like a pound for pound list,
Like power rankings?
yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know, obviously there's like sci-fi directors, action adventure directors, drama directors, but we're doing pound for pound
Overall.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how Spielberg isn't top 2 and not 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's done almost I can't think of a movie that a movie style that he hasn't done.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? I watched Road to Perdition and I'm just like, this can't be a Spielberg movie.
It's not.
It's not a Spielberg movie. But did he produce it? Or no. I'm thinking of what's this, Bridge of Spies?
Bridge of Spies.
Bridge of Spies.
He
That's what I'm
directed.
thinking
He
of.
directed
Bridge
of
of
Spies.
Spies.
Yeah.
And that movie's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Underappreciated. Another one.
it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
And I watch it. I'm like, how is this a Spielberg
the
movie?
spy espionage thing. Yeah. It's so forgotten, though. It's in that, like, this past, I'd say, like, 15 years has been, like, the forgotten years of Spielberg. Right?
He's done a lot in these past, like, decade and a half that
Yeah.
people have just gone, well, yeah, it's Spielberg. And it's like, no. You don't get to
Yeah.
dismiss it as a Spielberg movie and call it a day.
Yeah. I think since, like, I don't know, Minority Report? Beyond Minority Report, like, things get hazy for his filmography.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I love Munich. Munich
Yeah.
is fantastic. If you haven't seen Munich, I
Yeah.
think it's super underappreciated.
Yeah.
Like I said, Warhorse. A lot of people don't like Warhorse.
I don't think I ever watched War Horse. That movie just did not appeal
Yeah,
to
no,
me.
I don't think so either.
So,
He did Tintin, right? Was that Spielberg or was that Scorsese?
no, it's Tintin's Scorsese.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did another, like, film movie though, right?
Yeah, you gotta go into the film.
Well, first of all, West Side Story was great. Ready Player One wasn't very good. I will say that.
Yeah, but I mean it's kind of tough. I mean the for all intents and purposes, even though I love the book,
No, he did Tintin. He did Tintin.
he did Tintin.
He did Tintin.
So what did
yeah.
Scorsese do?
Scorsese did? It's the other one with the kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
the kid is into movies. Is the thing. Let me look it up.
Ready Player One. I know a lot of people did not like the book. So,
But that's
Spielberg was adapting a book that, like, people already didn't like.
That's Hugo is the
Hugo.
Yeah.
Hugo.
The problem with that though, not even the problem, but observation about it is that people liked that book a lot. And then suddenly the tide turned on it.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, this sucks. Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Too much
Spielberg
pop culture."
wouldn't have he would not have adapted a book that everyone hated.
Right.
You know, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was. I mean, the movie sucked. Like, let's
Yeah.
just. Be,
Yeah,
not, I mean, Spielberg is not bulletproof.
Sure.
It's not a good movie. So there's that.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
Not
okay.
everyone has a bad one.
He's got maybe 3 or 4 I would call not good movies.
What were the other ones?
Uh,
Ready Player One's definitely.
1944 or something. The World War II movie he did after Jaws.
I
that
don't think I've ever seen that.
me neither, and it's because it's been buried. Hollywood refuses to acknowledge it because it had a John Belushi.
Okay.
Starring. It was a comedy, but apparently it sucked.
Okay.
I've never seen it. Can't speak to it.
Sounds like a movie we should watch, though.
Maybe.
Just to know what.
If we can find it.
Yeah.
That's universally known as his worst movie.
All right.
And I'll say probably, I mean, I don't know if War Horse is good or not, but it didn't look very good.
I can't call it. It was something that like I did not want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's 3 right there. There's
Yeah.
probably another one in there too.
We should go through all of our favorite directors and like pick their worst movies.
Okay.
I mean, we can't. Well, I mean, we could do it right now, but we're not.
We're not going to do it right now.
This is
We'll do next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Next Evergreen episode.
Yes. Your cheers of the week, though, my friend.
My cheers of the week is going to Mr. Questlove, Amir Thompson, the director of Summer of Soul. I finally sat down and watched it. I know. But I actually
Quiet
didn't watch
down.
it when it came out. And then now it's on I don't know, Prime or I can't remember what I watched it on. They all start to run together.
Yeah. It's been streaming on something for a while.
I think it's Prime.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure it's Prime. It could be something
I'll
else.
do some research.
While he does the research, this was if you haven't seen Summer of Soul,
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. There you go. Disney
And Hulu,
Plus.
apparently.
Okay. So Hulu by virtue of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Or Disney
Disney
Plus
Plus by virtue of Hulu.
Because Hulu produced it. That's right. Hulu was
Right.
a part of him making it. That's
Right.
yeah. So obviously, if you're a hip hop fan, as we are, if you're not a fan of the Roots, I don't really know who you are.
The legendary Roots
The
crew?
legendary Roots crew.
Wow.
Amir Thompson, I call him by his first name as if I know him, Mr. Questlove, has been on this mission to educate people in music history and that of pop culture history and, more importantly, black culture and black pop history and things like that. Every time I go to his Instagram page, I feel like I learned something that like I feel like I know a lot about pop music and a lot about black pop music. Mm-hmm. And every time I go to his page, I go, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about
This
anything.
goes far deeper than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah, dude. And so his is a page that I frequent often just to educate myself, just to, go through different artists that I maybe not have appreciated the way that I should have.
Yeah.
And Summer of Soul is a documentary that perfectly exemplifies that feeling of like, you think you know, but you don't know anything. There is so much that, especially in modern American society, that has been buried, that has been that people try to they try to darken the beauty of American culture, African American culture, black people in America, black and brown people, because Summer of Soul wasn't just about black people. It was about black and brown people. It was about freedom. It was just so many beautiful things that are shown in this documentary, amongst all of the darkness and amongst all of the terrible things that were happening, especially in the 60s, especially on the East Coast, especially in Harlem, especially
right.
with the civil rights movement. And in the midst of all of that, you get this beautiful multi-week festival where some of the greatest artists of the 60s and just music in general performed for well, they got paid, but the festival itself was a free festival to the people who lived in Harlem. And it's just it's just a beautiful thing to watch. And I'm like upset with myself that I didn't watch it when it came out. But also, it's like everybody who wants to know anything about that time frame needs to watch this documentary, needs to educate yourself on these things. Because, like, the festival itself, again, like I stated before, I felt like I know a lot about, especially, like, that era of music. And I had no idea that this festival had taken place.
Yeah.
Even knowing that the documentary existed, I didn't know that it was about a festival that I didn't know took place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that was the entire point of the documentary, really, right? It was like they have that footage of this forgotten thing. And it's such good quality.
Yeah.
They have the audio recorded and stuff. Like, it's like it's finding a hidden jewel.
Yeah.
A jewel in the rough.
That's
if you
right.
will. Yeah.
Questlove got an Oscar for Best Documentary.
Right after Will Smith slapped the shit
dude,
out of Chris Rock.
Bro, and knowing how good this documentary is now, seeing it with my own eyes, it kind of makes me a little more upset with Will Smith for what he did, taking the shine from Questlove. Like,
it was this moment.
Yeah, because, people don't really... I want more people to understand how good this doc is, to appreciate it for what it is, especially right now where I have been doing this like deep dive on Black History Month and like really trying to like absorb all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you really owe it to yourself, especially if you have Disney Plus. It's right there waiting for you to watch. So, Questlove, Summer of Soul, do yourself a favor. Watch the documentary and listen to the fucking Roots,
Of course. Sure.
Yeah. Rumor is they're coming out with a new album.
Ooh.
So we don't know if that's been confirmed or denied. But
okay.
I've read on some
There's
message
been
boards.
Rumors and speculation.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that we've got it. But before we get out of here, we got to do the one last thing, which is review the beer of the week. So, without further ado, this is the Fire in the Sky West Coast Pilsner, a collaboration between Sideward Brewing and Unseen Creatures. Obi, what'd you think of this brewski?
See what I said before?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, no, it feels like a cross between a West Coast IPA and a Pilsner, which I think isn't very surprising. That being said, I dig it. I'm more of a hoppy boy. I like a little bit of a bitter beer. I will say I think I would prefer actually more of a traditional Pilsner with a little less hops, surprisingly. That being said, I think for what it is, it do it well. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
It do it well.
I enjoyed it. I think it's interesting. I wouldn't mind trying more West Coast Pilsners because it's up my alley. But I think with the Pilsner name, I would like something a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
All
right. I can't speak to like the development of this beer, like how it was actually brewed, but it does remind me of a cold IPA. In that it's definitely hoppier, definitely, but still kind of reminiscent of like a lager. Yeah. So I'll say I think I'm also gonna give it a 4.5.
Okay.
We're gonna go unanimous on this one.
Magnanimous.
Unanimous 4.5 for the Fire in the Sky. I mean, Sideward continues to not miss ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially with this art, incredible.
Yeah, they're
Looks
just
so cool. So cool.
If there's a park, they're knocking it out of it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Indeed.
So, I don't know if we've ever reviewed a Sideward brew lower than a 4. I can't imagine one being anything lower than a 4, 4 and a
Definitely
half.
has to be rare.
Yeah. So, just continuing that streak, Sideward Brewing, great brewery. If you're in the area,
Great brewery.
do yourself
One of the
a
best.
favor by going out there. My mom, sometimes when I talk to her, she'll be like, she'll think that I'm doing a Christopher Walken impression because I've done it so much to her.
Sure.
That sometimes I'll take like these awkward pauses, and she's like, "Are you doing that impression?" I'm like, I'm not doing anything. It's just the
Walken
pattern
is
of
within
my
me.
speech. Yeah. So like, I feel like the more I do it, it's gonna become. That's Christopher Walken and Joe Jonas.
Oh, God.
The more I do it, the more it becomes part of my speech.
It's Trump doing a walk-in.
Yeah.
Incredible.
See, you're not getting that kind of talent level anywhere else but the One Beer In podcast.
Definitely on SNL.
No, not even. You think Jake Novak could pull that fucking impression off? Not even remotely.
Don't even try.
All right. So, a unanimous 4.5 for the Fire in the Sky, West Coast Pilsner, Sideward, Unseen Creatures. OBD think we got it. I know we got it. Well, then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast from myself, Marco Dupo, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.